All right. Welcome. This public hearing is now open. It is March 11th, 2026 at 2 p.m. My name is Andrea Kleisik. I am the Executive Director of the Niagara County Industrial Development Agency. I have been designated by the agency to be the hearing officer to conduct this public hearing. This public hearing is being live streamed and made accessible on the agency's website at www.niagaracountybusiness.com. Notice of this public hearing is hereby given that a public hearing pursuant to Article 18A, Subdivision 2, Section 859A of the New York General Municipal Law will be held by the Niagara County Industrial Development Agency, the agency, in connection with the Somerset Solar LLC project. Notice of this hearing appeared in the Niagara Gazette on February 28th, 2026. We are here to hold the public hearing on the Somerset Solar LLC and or individuals, affiliates, subsidiaries, or entities formed or to be formed on its behalf. The transcript of this hearing will be reviewed and considered by the agency in determination of the project. The purpose of the hearing is to solicit comments, both written and oral, for Somerset Solar LLC. The project application and project summary are posted on the agency's website at niagaracountybusiness.com. I have copies with me today. Somerset Solar LLC will be constructing a 125 megawatt utility scale solar project in the town of Somerset. The construction of this facility will lead to 98 construction jobs and 2 permanent positions to maintain the facility. A resolution passed by the Town of Somerset Board supports the Somerset Solar LLC application to the Niagara County Industrial Development Agency for a tax agreement. The resolution also states that this project is subject to Real Property Tax Law 575-B, which mandates solar projects of at least 1 megawatt be assessed for real property tax values under the discounted cash flow methodology using a model formula and discounted rates established by the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance. This assessment determination enables the town to define tax payments providing property tax stability to each of the affected taxing jurisdictions, which will be provided through the NCIDA application process. All those in attendance are required to register by signing in at the sign-in sheet at the lectern. You will not be permitted to speak unless you have registered. Everyone who is registered will be given an opportunity to make statements and/or comments on the project. If you have a written statement or comment to submit for the record, you may leave it at this public hearing, submit it on the agency's website, or deliver it to the agency at 6311 Indicon Corporate Drive, Sanborn, New York, 14132. The comment period closes on March 12th, 2026. There are no limitations on written statements or comments. If anyone is interested in making a statement or comment, please raise your hand, state your name and address. If you are representing a company, please identify the company. I request that the speakers please keep statements and or comments to 3 minutes. Supervisor.
Thanks, Andrea. Just a few things I want everybody to understand that we were never in favor of this project. This project got rammed down our throat by New York State, our local governors. Just so you understand that. This is nothing of our doings. So with that being said, it was like, we're gonna go after and get the most money we can get out of this project for our town. And this HCA and partial pilot is the way it gives the max money for this town. And that's what we're shooting for right now. Just some numbers on that. Taxing on this for the life of this deal is 20 years. We would get 1.47 million out of it. But doing it this way with the HCA and the partial pilot, and that goes up 2% every year on that numbers with the HCA and the pilot, we end up with a little over $6.5 million on the life of the contract. So there's, $5 million if we take it with just straight taxes or whatever. But just so you understand, this hopefully is all the best interest to do this with the IDA board, with a partial pilot and the HCA here for us, for the town, for the best interest.
So you, instead of getting $5 million over the 20 years, you get, 6.
Yeah, 6.5, because you got a little over 5 million for the HCA and then 715,000 for the partial pilot. That equates to a little over 6.5.
And that comes right to the town, or is that the total that they have to pay? And it gets divvied up. Does it get divvied up, or is that what
No, that's what
the
the town gets.
town gets?
The other entities have their own deals.
And, they'll tell about how much the school gets, how much the town gets.
Well, that's.
Can we, we can have a I'm sorry, we can have a discussion and we gotta just take comments for the purpose of this hearing, but we can certainly have a discussion following the hearing. All right,
Why wouldn't those numbers be available to us right now?
I can provide those numbers to you.
Okay.
All right, Miss Ray, Marcia Ray.
Excuse me. Before the comments, shouldn't we know how much the school's getting, how much the county's getting?
All that information is available on the agency's website and the project summary, and I believe it's in the project summary as well.
All right,
So we can, we'll make
so
sure
how
that you
much
get.
does the school get? Do you have it right there?
Doug, I'll note it in a minute.
Yes, I do, and
You know it?
I'm welcome.
I'll note it in a minute.
Okay.
Miss Ray.
Yes, we came here to listen to a proposal, but we haven't gotten much information from that, but I hope.
Can you come up? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you come to,
Where do you want me?
right to the lectern? Just because we have an
You want me to
obligation.
Speak to you?
Well,
Okay.
yes, please.
Well, I hope you listen to everyone's concerns. We have a good turnout. That shows we care. The area along Lake Ontario from Heartland Road to Hess Road in the towns of Somerset and Newfane has been desecrated. This portion of New York State was settled over 200 years ago by people looking for prime farmland for raising crops, for moderate climate for producing fruit, and fresh air for rural family living. In the last 70 years, it has been taken away from farmers and has become a major industrial area. As a family that has lived here for over 200 years, and we have 8 generations in our family, we are truly disgusted and heartbroken with the ravaging of our natural resources and habitat, not to benefit us as residents, but to provide service to larger cities in our state and country. What a sacrifice you have asked of us. What a destruction to our rural charm and beauty. This property was obtained by eminent domain and has continued to be destroyed by stripping of trees, building of concrete and steel, and changing trends of the times. First, a state-of-the-art coal-fired generating plant, a whole new railroad system, and now the largest AI center in the country. Our community does not want to be recognized as industrial. We are an earth-loving township that protects habitat for wildlife, bird migration, fruit growing, and encouraging tourist travel. How can New York State designate Route 18 as the Seaway Trail after the hundreds of overloaded dump trucks and 18-wheelers pound the pavement continuously and with excessive speeds? We have given Lake Mariner and AES nearly exclusive use of our highways with no safety measures being taken whatsoever. The disturbance caused by this enormous construction cannot be underestimated. Excessive noise and rumbling for miles, upsetting human sleep patterns and pets. Traffic of trucks, equipment at all hours of the day and weekends with no traffic lights or warnings. Lights that distract sleep, cause alarm to unknowing passerbys, and local benefits. The employees come from a distance only to grab a sandwich at a convenience store. There's no consideration for our township at all. And you're asking for us to approve a pilot that gives a mere $6 million to maybe the town with no consideration to the school, with no consideration to our environment or infrastructure. Please take that into consideration, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ray, Mr. Richard Ray?
Get up there.
I hate to tell you how many meetings like this I've attended in the last 40 years.
Sir,
Sir, I'm
would
sorry
you
to
like-
interrupt. You
could you-
you just
yeah.
do it, we have to, by law, we have to have this recorded. So if you could stand up there.
You know, that's kind of an interesting fact since we can't hear you. And, you know, maybe you should have taken some consideration for making sure that everybody on both sides can hear. I'm gonna stand right where I am. It doesn't get recorded tough. I come to these meetings and they're all basically the same. Decision's been made, we'll get shortchanged. We'll have it in the middle of the day. No, we'll change it from Monday to Wednesday. Hopefully nobody will turn out. I'm appreciative of all the people that have turned out. And when we get all said and done, we will do what we want to do. I am upset that we don't get more consideration. I'm also upset that when you have the figures in front of you and a question is asked, you cannot tell us that the school will get X number of dollars. You got it right in front of you. What the hell's the matter with you? I leave it at that. Carry on your little charade.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I can't read this name. It's Lake Road 6730.
Excuse me, can I just say something?
Yeah, sure.
Can I?
Do you wanna go next?
Jump ahead, because I have to leave, and I do want to speak. Would everybody okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, coach, okay.
My name is Joe Moore. I live at 1449 Hosmer Road, at the north end of, right down by the plant, right by,
Yeah.
Lake Road, all right? I know this isn't the place for the noise and all that as far as like 1985. I've been dealing with the noise at that power plant since 1985. With the dump trucks back then building the plant, with the trains banging across the street on the railroads all night long, rattling my windows and door frames and knocking pictures off my walls when the train would cling all the way down the tracks. And now here we are in today's society, dealing with the dump trucks for this project. The AI is going on, the building, the construction, the noise, the diesel smell of the fuel that we're dealing with down there from the diesel smell, the smell of diesel. The noise, like I said, and I own 89 acres from Lake Road to Haight Road. And my property is gonna be surrounded by these solar panels, surrounded by, okay? And I agree 100% with what the Ray said. Spot on, both of you. You nailed it right in the head. But, you know, this stuff is already made, the minds are already made up. We don't get a chance to really, we can speak and say what we want, but nothing's gonna be done about it because the mind's already made up, everything's done. And I just wish, I don't know how they're gonna manage as far as spreading out this tax money, but as far as I'm concerned, the people that live down there in front of that project, dealing with the noise and the pollution and all that stuff going on, I'm hoping we get a bigger tax break than a lot of other people because we've been dealing with it our whole lives down there. And one last thing I just want to say about that is, you know, everything's hidden. It's a secret. You can't find out any information. They don't ever send out any flyers to anybody. Let people know when things are going on. We have to jump through hoops to try to find out information. And the last thing I want to say is, I just hope it comes time. I don't know if everybody knows about it, but this isn't the place for it also. But you know what's going to happen when they want to bring in these nuclear generators, these nuclear reactors, for the energy for this plant. I hope they give us some time and a chance to speak about that, because you know what, we probably aren't going to have anything to say about that either, because it's just going to be done. But that's coming in our future, I believe. Okay, that's all I have to say. Thank you. I got to go. I hope we all play hard.
Thank you. Mr. Jordan?
Yes, I live at 1413 Hosmer Road, 3 houses from the power plant. We have had to deal with the trucks just like everybody else. My biggest issue is everybody outside of our area is getting a tax break. We're the ones that have to deal with this. What are we getting out of it? Nothing. I mean, we'll get a pittance of a tax break maybe, but we're the ones that have to, I'll have solar panels on two sides of on the front side of my property and on the north side of my property. I'm used to seeing deer and animals and stuff coming through the fields. Now I won't be able to see that. I just, and like Joe and everybody else, the Rays, we're not informed about what's going on here whatsoever. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I know there's an AI plant going on, where the old power plant is. I live right there and I don't know. Along where the tracks were, they got a bunch of, I don't know what they're storing out there. It appears,
Guys,
no, it's not.
up further it is.
They're all gone. It's
Now
all,
they're-
it's
They're along the old railroad.
along the railroad tracks. It's transformers and things like that, electrical equipment for the power plant or for the AI. I just, I would like the IDA to consider the residents and what we have to put up with. We have to live with this the rest of my life. I'm gonna have to look at these solar panels. And the buffers that we were told way back when, is that gonna happen? I mean, is there still gonna be woods in front along the road so we don't have to see those panels? I mean, when they built the power plant, there was no woods. Now it's grown up. Now they're gonna rip out all those woods, put probably little pine trees there, and we have to see it. So I know that's not your thing, but I just think the residents that have to deal with it, the ones that were right there, should see something out of it. That's what I've got to say.
Thank you. Miss Turner, Marcia Turner? Marcia.
Yeah. My writing is terrible, and
Oh, no.
I think there was a water spot there. So I've been pretty ignorant about this whole thing. I still don't understand what an AI facility is, and so it would have been nice if somebody would please explain that whole thing to us at some point. But I was able to come up with some information for today's meeting. And I guess, Mr. Supervisor, wherever you are back there, I know that we aren't in favor of this. We fought very hard against this. And so I'm still trying to wrap around my head when the state overrode us, that they wanted, and let me see, it's 125, 12.5 million is what you want, not you, but they want from Niagara County, 12.5 million for tax exemptions for its plan, 276.6 million. I'm taking this from what you just read,
Okay.
or maybe not. Somerset Solar, no, that's from this one over here. So this document is from, the paper article, February 19th. The proposed 125 milliwatt Somerset Solar project may have received its siting permit from the state in 2024, but now it's looking for county incentives. Project developer AES is seeking 12.5 million in Niagara County Industrial Development Agency tax exemptions for its planned 276.6 million. And I just find it very ironic that the state overrode us and we're stuck with this thing out here. And in addition, to add insult to injury, they want exempts from taxes. So taken from the project, or was it the application? From the project summary, that 12.5 total cost in tax exemption, 3.5 in property tax exemption, sales tax exemption, 8.5 million in tax exemption. Mortgage recording tax exemption, 414,000 or whatever. I'm saying it wrong because I'm a little ticked off. Local benefits, our benefits, nominal value, $34.6 million. Discounted value, which I don't understand that, is 29.9 million. To private individuals, here's our whopping 21.6 million for the nominal value, and then discounted value, it went up for some reason, 19.3 million. I don't think that it's been explained very well to us. So unless you had access to a computer and you could go onto the website, I don't know how many people here have seen the project summary or the application for financial assistance. I just think it, in blunt language, it sucks. This whole process sucks. We're not in favor of this. I may not live immediately close to the plant. However, every morning I take our dog back for a walk in the woods and I get to hear boom, boom, boom. And I'm trying to figure out what in the world are they doing over there? The only time that I knew that something was happening is when they imploded the stack. And that's only because that was big news around here. I don't think that our community has been treated fairly or just in any way at all. And I think it's very sad that now we're having to fight for monies that never should have been taken for us and that we didn't want their contribution to begin with.
Thank
And
you.
I don't know anything else to say.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Mr. Snyder?
I'm a resident of 8464 Chapman Road, and I'm not a resident of the town of Somerset. I have provided my, and I'll just read of who I am, give you a little background. My name is Floyd Snyder. I live at 8464 Chapman Road. My background allows me the advantage to make statements on energy and the economics of agriculture community like ours. I attended Sonny Cobleskill, graduated there and went on to the University of Georgia and got a degree in economics. I came home from Georgia and I'm proud to wear this coat right now. I wasn't afterwards, and obviously you'll know why. But I ended up in the enlisted in the United States Navy Seabees in construction. I didn't want to sit behind the desk, so I spent 24 years in heavy construction, helped build and worked on a lot of engineering projects in the coal plant here at Somerset, followed working at Lockwood Cogen and for 15 years. And then I learned a great deal after I had to buy fuel for a small plant in Niagara Falls. So I feel I have a very good sound understanding of the power grid, what's going on and everything. I don't think any of us here do. It's the worst kept secret in the state of New York. Today, everyone is totally excited about their power bill. Okay? Including mine. Mine doubled. I don't know what yours is. I have solar panels on my house, so I'm breathing a little bit of fresh air. I've taken all of this information from several sources, the New York State ISO, which you're able to get on. It's called Dashboard. It gives you, because what happened in the price was when Somerset was running and Lockwood was running, we had a fixed contract to power into the grid. Meaning, every day that power plant ran. Every day it was change, money was going to NICEAG at the time because that's who built it. Pricing of electricity comes, and you're probably gonna don't understand this, but comes by now we're on a demand market. So we have a daily demand. So bathtub, remember. So when you turn your lights on, somebody has to generate power. So we got a day, so it goes up in the morning and falls off at 11 o'clock and everybody goes to bed. Also, we have a weekly demand in the grid now, where the power starts Monday, ramps up because of the use and dies off on Friday. And then we have a seasonal demand that is causing havoc because of lack of understanding of it, is that spring and fall is your high months. And you, power generation needed into the grid. And to give you an example, summer of 25, the demand on the power grid was 32,000 megawatts. Spring was 16, 17. Winter is 25. Like I've got my falls is 16, 17, and summertime is 32,000.
Mr. Snyder, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but
Okay, okay.
but I do have your comments and I'll make sure
Yeah,
that I
okay.
put them into the
All right,
record.
I go on, that's what my problem, I gotta state this because I'm gonna get shot. So what I'm saying is the future demand for power generation in New York State is going to ramp up to 3 to 7% in the next 3 years. I won't get into politics because it doesn't do me. To give you an example right now, I took this off of the gold book. Their estimated in 24 was that we were going to need 2,700 megawatts. A lot of this is for chip manufacturing, which is a big project in Syracuse. The last, obviously now with the Mariner project here, but there's several other across the state. Okay, now I'm not going to put everybody to sleep. This problem needs to be addressed. We have not upgraded the natural gas system in New York State. We haven't got a plan in New York State for new development for plants. And at that 32,000 last summer, 68% of the total power in the grid came from natural gas and oil. 8% from solar and wind, and the rest from nuclear and water. Now, I got a comment here is to build a new gas-fired plant, which I was involved in helping this plant down here.
Mr. Snyder, I'm sorry. I
all
hate
right.
to interrupt. I
All
feel
right,
so
all
sorry.
I'm gonna say is this, I will say this to you, and I wanna finish this point. Solar is the mean in the short term to get around this problem. There's no other way. Pilots, and I am in favor of the county to guarantee the fixed source of revenue for 12, 20 years. As we financially better off in Niagara County to control the taxes based on, or should we let the state of New York control our taxes? That's up to you people, but you know where I stay, and it's not a good picture. Thank you much.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Snyder.
I've got copies here if anybody wants it. so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Reimer?
Oh, bills aren't going anywhere. I hope.
Yeah, here, sir.
Oh, I like.
Good afternoon. I am Dr. Jacob Reimer, Superintendent of Upper Central School District. All I wish to do today is provide information on the effects of the exemption pilot structure and the harm it will cause upon the school district by not having this project put directly on the tax rolls and taxed at the same rates as the rest of the community. Per calculations provided to us based upon the expected taxable valuation of the project, if this project were allowed to be fully taxed under the valuation process set forth within section 487 or 515 that was referred to earlier of real property tax law, the district will receive approximately $11.6 million over 20 years for an annual average of $581,000. Under the proposed exemption pilot application, the calculation is reduced to an average of $278,000, which is more than a $6 million loss in potential revenues. It's more than 50% reduction that the school will receive under the current application and how it's structured. Due to the decline in revenues from the Energy Cessation Mitigation Fund each year that we have had access to, limited increases in state aid, and the substantial challenge of increasing the school levy by more than 2 or 3% each year under the current tax cap laws, the district will fall into a true structural deficit in the next 2 years. In the past, when the plant did not pay their agreed upon amounts under the previous pilots, and we had minimal state aid and local tax levy increases, see the commonality here? It's nearly identical to what we face now. The district made significant reductions and changes in how we were structured. We reconfigured the campus to be more efficient. We eliminated bus runs. We have more shared programs than ever with other schools, just to name a few. Many of these decisions were not popular, but they allowed us to continue to provide services to our students and our learning community. The potential revenues from this entity, if this property were on the tax rolls, would nearly supplant the loss of the revenue coming from the Energy Cessation Mitigation Fund in our last year of eligibility. The proposed exemption and pilot, structured as it currently is, ensures we will not be structurally balanced for some time and will be required to exhaust all of our reserves in a few short years to maintain the current levels of program that we have for our students in our community. The only recourse we see with this reduction of anticipated revenue would be to ask our community to exceed the tax cap and increase our tax levy potentially between 10 to 20%, depending on how things go. For a frame of reference, across New York State, since the tax cap has been in place for schools, 80% of all votes have gone down. If this was somehow to be done here, the entire cost of this tax increase would fall on the backs of our taxpayers, not on this entity. While the town and IDA may be making out very well with this proposed exemption and pilot application, the school, our students, and our learning community it supports simply will not. The decision we have will have a substantial long-term impact on our students, our staff, and the entire learning community. We truly hope the IDA will meet with myself and our Board of Education prior to making any decisions so we can further show you the impact this will have upon the school system, both short and long term. To date, we have not received a single communication from the IDA related to this matter, other than the notices of the hearing, and have largely been left out of the discussions except for a few perfunctory discussions with the town and the Somerset plant and AES attorneys. Our hope is that additional discussion and sharing of information will let you see the full impact of this decision and its effect on our entire school, our community, and our taxpayers. I do have a written statement that's a bit longer. I'll leave this with you.
Thank you.
And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. I apologize if I mispronounced this. Atwater on Carmen Road, is that right?
Yep.
Sorry, I couldn't really read it.
Thank you. My name is Randy Atwater, a longtime resident of the town of Somerset and member of the Barker Central School Board of Education, currently serving as president. I am speaking as a private citizen and taxpayer and not on behalf of the school today. I have multiple concerns with the pilot for the Somerset Solar Project, the subject of today's hearing. The evolution of this pilot has largely been below the radar. The school was not informed from the outset of the development and negotiations behind the proposal we are here to discuss today. I recently learned that the town endorsed the proposed pilot at the July 9, 2025 meeting. I regret not following the town board meeting minutes more carefully, but a development of this magnitude that impacts the school should have been communicated to the school in a timely fashion and the potential impacts considered far earlier in the process. Dr. Reimer received notice of the rescheduled hearing only a week ago today. I was interested to note the notice was submitted to the Niagara Gazette, which I trust is the official paper of record for the NCIDA. However, I doubt many town and district residents are subscribers to this paper. The notice says attaches a copy of the notice of public hearing describing the project and the financial assistance contemplated by the agency. Other than the notice itself, no such additional information was included. It's unclear how the average citizens of Somerset would be aware of this hearing and or the details thereof. I do not understand why this pilot is even being considered. As you know, wind and solar projects are automatically exempt from normal property taxes under RPTL 487 unless opted out by the affected municipalities. The town, Barker Central School, and Niagara County all opted out of RPTL 487 years ago. According to the NYSERDA Solar Guidebook for Local Governments, Section 6, there is no provision I could find that allows for a pilot if the municipalities have opted out of this section. Quoting from the guidebook, payment in lieu or pilots are an alternative revenue source that allows municipalities to receive annual payments from renewable developers in place of property taxes for projects eligible for property tax exemptions. On page 6, it says local governments that do not want to use property exemptions can opt out of RPTL 487 by passing a law or resolution to opt out and filing copies accordingly. If a municipality has opted out, all applicable solar and energy storage projects in its jurisdiction are subject to local property taxes. In spite of the clear direction of the solar guidebook, I've been told that the IDA may have the authority to grant a solar project a pilot under RPTL 412A. It seems clear that the town, school, and county opted out with the full intent to keep the renewable projects on the tax rolls. What has changed? It's my understanding that the state requires the assessment of solar projects for property tax purposes to be based on the method outlined in RPTL 575B. The total cost of installation is estimated to be $276 million. The assessment calculation under 575 is reported to be about $31 million. Clearly, the state has already baked a favorable assessment into the cake of assessment for solar systems. To grant a pilot that gives further substantial discount seems unnecessary and inappropriate. I'm not coming at this out of opposition to renewable energy. For our home, we have solar panels and geothermal HVAC system. I have often read how the cost of solar power has come down dramatically and is very competitive with other forms of energy. As such, tax breaks should be subject to great scrutiny. Dr. Reimer has already spoken about the potential impact on the school. I would like to elaborate on that. It appears that the town budget for 2026 is on the order of $5.4 million. The current school year budget is $22.5 million. School employment is several times that of the town with direct impact on well over 600 students and their families. The tax rate for the town is about 13% of that of the school. Both provide essential services to the community. With the current proposal for the pilot and host community agreement for the town, the school would lose over $6 million over 20 years and actually receive less from the solar project than would the town.
Excuse me, Mr. Reimer, you've exceeded 3 minutes. I can take your comments and put them on the, that's fine. And I can also take your comments to put, into the record as well. Oh, okay.
Can I hear them, please?
Okay.
All right, so I left off on here.
Okay, I'm Pam Atwater. It's not Reimer.
Oh, I'm sorry, Atwater, sorry.
Okay, so you just said school employment several times that of the town with direct impact on well over 600 students and their families. The tax rate for the town is about 13% of that of the school. Both provide essential services to the community. The current proposal for the pilot and host community agreement for the town, the school would lose over $6 million over 20 years and actually receive less from the solar project than would the town. Under current proposal, the town would come out ahead by over $5 million over 20 years relative to having this project on the tax rolls. Congratulations to the town for savvy negotiations, but the school has to date not been given the same opportunity or consideration. Randy's been on the school board for nearly 38 years and has seen the glory days of tax revenue from the power plant back in the NYSEG days. With the elimination of coal-fired power plants in the state, it was understandable that those days wouldn't last forever. However, the challenges of dealing with the multiple pilots and loss of major revenue for the district put us in a structural deficit for years. With the advent of the energy cessation mitigation money, we've been able to get back on our feet and even finance major capital project improvements to the campus with the help of major state support without raising local taxes. As the mitigation funds drop off completely in a couple of years, we're again looking at a structural deficit and loss of revenue from this proposed pilot. And the loss of revenue from this proposed pilot would clearly be harmful relative to having this project on the tax roll. Sadly, the pilot as currently proposed would actually work against the school due to tax cap calculations. Quoting again from the Solar Guidebook, page S6.16, pilots may limit the ability for local governments to increase their property tax revenue while the pilots are in effect. In summary, Randy finds this entire proposal does not comport with the guidelines as published by NYSERDA, and that is currently structured would be a great disservice to the school district that is so integral to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Lindsay Payne.
Hello, I'm Lindsay Payne. I live at 7482 Lake Road. You have no idea what that is. It's directly across from the power plant. So I deal all day with the construction that they're doing. To add to that, they will be then wanting to add another road to the other side of my property and then fill 3 sides of my property with solar panels right on top of my house because they couldn't abide by the town's 400 feet. They're gonna do 250 or 250. But are you guys answering questions or is it just solely comments?
We're just taking, comments.
Okay, so
Thank you.
I guess my comment is, I just don't understand how that it can be justified for a tax break for 20 years for 2 permanent jobs, which I believe is part of the IDA and giving back the environmental everything, but for 2 jobs for this area. My other question, I guess I can't ask, is if the pilot didn't go through, would this still be able to happen? They're getting 50% of funding from the federal government. So they're already getting substantial amounts. So why, as a community who's gonna have 2 permanent jobs, do we need to also back that? And I guess my other comment is the loss in the tax revenue over the 20 years or what we potentially would get, but how long are those solar panels going to last? Are they going to be out of there? Is it going to be a waste to literally all of our farmland down there for what? And I guess everyone else asked about the difference between host payments and how that directly affects it. So I think that's all my comments. Just, I guess, really consider what we're getting for what they're getting. My other comment is, I'm sure it might be rumor mill, but Somerset Solar is owned by AES, who's owned by TeraWolf, and they're leasing it to themselves. So, everyone's been passed down. AES, when I was in school, filed bankruptcy, sold off to this company, but now AES is back leasing this and that. So that's where I'm, I guess, confused about the entire situation. But I came to knowledge that they don't even want the solar panels because it's pointless to them. The amount that they're trying to do inside the AI facility will be too big for the solar panels to even be worth it. So are they going to start this project, go as the other man said, nuclear energy, and then what? We're again left with nothing but my home that, if you want, drive down Lake Road by the power plant, you'll see my house. It's the only one that's within like a certain distance. And you'll see the construction entrance on one side, listen to the noise, and then look at literally where my property line is, a little field where they want to put another road, and just sit down there and see what we're all losing.
Thank you, Lindsay.
And then we'll give $1 million.
Thank you. All right. I don't know, is Miss Betty Wolinak, did you want to speak?
Oh, yes.
Please excuse my back. I will use my teacher voice so you can hear me. Both this town and the Niagara County IDA have experience with AES, of which Somerset Solar is a subsidiary. Because of this, I'm surprised that the Niagara County IDA would seriously consider giving Somerset Solar a panel. Need I remind you of how AES has behaved in the recent past? Perhaps I do. Let's start with the trustworthiness of AES Somerset Solar and see how they pay attention to detail with a couple of examples. In their application to New York State through the 94C process, AES Somerset Solar claimed that 250 full-time equivalent construction jobs would be created. Yet in pages 3 and 13 of Exhibit 18 in their state proposal, that number appears as 205 and 203. In their proposal to you, they claim that 99 full-time equivalent construction jobs would be created. So which number is true? 99, 250, 205? And how many construction jobs did they claim when they spoke to the various labor unions? I fully expected this room to be filled with labor unions. What about full-time jobs? In their application to New York State, AES Somerset Solar claimed 3.6 full-time equivalent jobs on pages 9 and 13 in Exhibit 18. that they will be created. To you, they claim only 2 full-time equivalent jobs. Again, which number is true? They paint whatever picture they think will get them what they want. And how wonderful will those not very high-paying jobs be, with a payroll of $102,000 for 2 jobs, or even worse, 3.6 jobs. After state and federal taxes and FICA, these will be minimum wage jobs. These jobs will be mowing the grass and shoveling snow and perhaps brushing snow off the solar panels and troubleshooting problems so that people with some sort of expertise can be called in to do repairs. AES Somerset Solar does not pay attention to detail in any way, shape, or form. A good example can be found on their website in their community involvement demonstration to the public, where they claim they want to be a good community partner. And I would appreciate it if you would get off your phone and listen to me. They have on their website, they have a PowerPoint presentation that's supposed to be a representation of the town hall meeting they held here. But if you look at that, there's a problem. The PowerPoint on their website is of Riverside Solar in Jefferson County. If they can't even post the correct town meeting, how can you consider them to be credible at all? Their proposal for you indicates to me that they expect Niagara County IDA to actually own the Somerset solar facility and lease it back to them. Knowing their past behavior, what a perfect way for AES Somerset Solar to declare bankruptcy when they choose to do so and leave the Niagara County IDA holding the bag. When the subsidies end, or they discover that this is a poor area to generate electricity and they aren't making the money they thought they would, they will disappear. In their application to the state, they claim that they will own and operate Somerset Solar. Another discrepancy, and
Ms.
fairly
Walner,
large to me.
I'm sorry, you've exceeded the 3 minutes, but if you'd like, I could take your comments.
No,
and
I'm
make
gonna
sure-
finish. Your legal authorization is to attract business and create jobs. AES Somerset Solar is already planning to come, and they're not creating good jobs after construction. They're already receiving subsidies, a guaranteed market, a state limiting the assessed value of the facility. Why do they need more tax breaks? You are a public benefit corporation. This project is not wanted here. It's being shoved down our throat in New York State. AES Somerset Solar claims they are improving the land. They are industrializing prime farmland. They claim that after decommissioning, the land will be returned to its pristine condition and that they're saving it from other development. This is prime farmland, and it has a forest with 200-year-old trees that they plan to cut down. If this project is built, it will never be prime farmland again. You cannot undo 5 miles of gravel roads nor change the substructure with miles of underground cables. This land has already been productive, growing food. There is very little prime farmland in the world. And in Western New York, it is being industrialized at a shocking rate. There will come a time when this is deeply regretted. I ask that you not give a pilot to AES Somerset Solar, and certainly not take on any ownership of this project.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to make a comment? Please come on up, sir. And if you could just state your name
I'll be
and
quick.
address.
8456 State Road. I just have a couple things. I'm very disappointed in I understood that you would give a presentation to us about no. Doesn't happen that way, huh?
Sure.
Wow. Okay, how much is the IDA getting out of this project? Can you answer anything? No, just stand and look on your phone again. So we don't know how much they're getting, probably what, 4 or 5 million? Ballpark? Yeah, ballpark. They're getting 4 million and the school is getting stiffed. My biggest taxes is the school, not the town. This is ridiculous. It ought to be shut down, or no, I mean, we shouldn't be giving any tax break. And that's my comment, and, I don't think they're gonna leave at 25 cents a kilowatt. At my electric bill, they're not gonna leave if you don't give them a tax break. They're gonna be right there getting their 25 cents a kilowatt.
Yeah.
Out of that 100, whatever it is.
Thank you, sir.
I thought I signed up to sign.
Sorry, yep, come on up to the lectern. If you could just state your name and address, please.
8737 Lake Road, Mr. James Hoffman,
Yes.
longtime resident of the town of Somerset. And spent many years on the planning board, among other things. Most of what I'm gonna touch on has already been reported in the Union Sun and Buffalo News, because about a week ago, I spouted off on the whole project. So I will be drawing on that, and I have a handout for you. But it's very clear in listening to the people that live here, the residents of Somerset, this nice, quiet, rural facility is being totally violated currently by a big project. And what we don't need is another project superimposed on us. Our community is being overrun already. Point of information, the Union Sun and Journal is our town newspaper. I saw nothing in the Union Sun, and I was grasping to figure out when and where this meeting would be. Now, I totally oppose any financial incentives for this project. If it can't economically stand on its own, it shouldn't go forward. And the project should be fully assessed and be on the tax rolls. And this may be contrary to all the fancy rules and regulations that come forth. And Somerset is already a low tax area. Look at the town of Lockport, look at Lewiston, look at all those towns. And then here we are, rural, because we're rural, a lower tax situation to start with. And then people come in, industries comes in and want more tax breaks yet. Now, the whole project should be overhauled, because one of the major concerns I have is if you go back to the construction of the power plant, coal plant originally, a green space was created around it in protection of our community. That green space has been totally violated and will be totally eliminated under this current project. They're going to be clearing of trees, and that's already been mentioned. That's counterproductive. Trees, among other things, put oxygen in the air. We're destroying 247 acres of prime farmland that's currently being farmed, and if removed from production, will be a negative impact on this town. We always hear about how many houses a solar project like this is going to light only when the sun shines. Only when the sun shines. You need fossil fuel backup, you need nuclear backup, you need hydro backup. So the whole solar idea is very fallacious. And in summary, I'd like to make the point that I made before again. As a township, we are unable to absorb another major project like this. And if the project were totally scuttled at this time, I believe we'd be all ahead of the game. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You could just state your name and address, please.
John Atlantic, 7792 Haight Road, Barker, New York, 14012. Their project is going to directly affect me and my property. We have a 101 acre farm. And those solar panels are going to be directly north of my house. So therefore, those black panels are going to be facing my windows, my north windows on the house. It's going to raise the heat. I don't know how much damage it might cause in trying to grow crops on the farm because of the heat. There's a setback of 250 foot to neighboring properties. And from what I was told, it's 1,000 foot before you can discharge a firearm. So that's going to affect both neighbors and all neighbors actually. And it's a lot of crap. You guys keep taking away, and plus it's going to drop my property value. Because if I were to sell that house, nobody's going to want to live across the street from solar panels and look at them all day long, sitting on the front porch in the shade. That's baloney. Now, our Power Vista, the last time I had noted, they were at 65% of production. Wouldn't it be better to invest that money into the Power Vista and produce at least 20% more than what they're producing now? I shoot this down. And I'm going to be very upset. I'm going to lose property value.
You already have.
I know.
Yeah.
Who's going to want to buy that property?
Nobody.
So what do I do with my AES, a subsidiary from AES? Am I going to have to sue them for damages caused to me? Do I have to go after you people because you allowed it? And you gave them a tax break? When am I going to get a tax break? New York State is destroying our community.
Yes.
They took away home rule, and our town board said nothing south of 18. You can take the brownfields north of 18, do what you want with them, basically. But no, money speaks. Now they cry for tax breaks. Baloney. And I hold every one of you responsible if you allow this tax break to go through. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Come on up.
Jean Garza, 3095 Johnson Creek Road. I live in the town of Portland, and I am in with the Ridgeview Solar Project. I am signed up for that on my personal property. I also own Ravenwood Farm, and I sheep you not. And what I do is I take rescue sheep, and I do solar grazing. And I know that this is going to take a lot of prime farmland. My sheep they're going to be going on a brown field to try and remediate the soil at Niagara University at their front entrance so that soil might be good again to grow row crops. You can grow row crops underneath the solar panels. I want to know if there's going to be any incentives or any tax breaks or anything, grants, for me to get smaller farm machinery that actually fits between the rows of solar panels so I can grow hay for my sheep in the winter. And then my sheep also provide lambs for food, wool for clothing, the soil remediation. They're a rescue animal. I get at local auctions. They're doing their purpose. I'm just trying to farm what I can. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of room. And solar panel areas can be farmed. I know it's not great, but it can be done.
Okay. Thank you very
Just
much.
wanted to let you know.
Thank you. Yep. Come on.
Hi, I'm Jude Hinton.
from 7440 Lake Road, right across from, right basically across from the property where the stone house is, the historical society. And I've kind of maybe come late a little bit to this project because at the other town meetings and board meetings I've been to here, the solar thing was like a done deal. There's nothing we can do about it. And then less than a week ago, I heard about this meeting, and I saw in the paper, in the Buffalo News, an article that I thought was not only important, but full of a lot of errors and misconceptions. The land that these panels are going to be put on was described as like abandoned, unused land. I don't think that would ever be the case. Everything is being planted and harvested. If it can be, it's again, awesome agricultural land. Sid Silsby and his family, his son Jeremy and his family, have rented property for cropping on our farm over the years, and he has also rented or leased much of the property that's going to be going to these thousands of acres of solar panels. So to describe them as abandoned or unused is really very much misinformation, except for that this past year, the Silsbys were told that they were not allowed to plant crops on those properties. So it's not by the nature that they were just abandoned. Also, I think I'm going to kind of repeat what other people have said. If this solar project is not viable on its own, without multiple levels of tax breaks from the federal, state, counties, local municipalities, then it should not be built if it can't make it on its own. They're counting on our tax dollars for us to give up what revenues we can get from them. And in that scenario, we're experiencing and getting all the downsides and taking all the risks, as Betty said about, they're going to abandon, go bankrupt, and dump this eyesore on us eventually. And it will happen, I believe. And you're never going to get farmland back again. So we take all the downsides, we take all the risks without getting any of the benefits. And adding insult to injury, that we must foot the bill for building this energy structure, as well as having our own utility bills being saddled with paying for this once in a century upgrade of the electrical grid. It's on all of our bills, the system upgrades. So not only are these power hungry structures like the AI that's happening, not paying their fair share, they're getting tax breaks from the power authority that we don't get. And we're expected to pay for all these upgrades because the whole system everywhere in the whole country can't keep up, mostly with the AI and that type of build out. So what they're getting out of it over 20 years is a very valuable commodity, a commodity that will have increasing value. We see it going up on our bills practically monthly. So they're going to have that in their pocket. Meanwhile, they throw us a pittance over 20 years and expect us to be gung-ho and appreciative of it, which I believe nobody is. Nobody in this room possibly. So they're basically throwing us crumbs and kind of like it or not, this is happening, your hands are tied. So I just feel like I'm totally against it. This community has been ravaged by different things like this before, including the original coal plant, which as a child, I went out striking against with my little sign. So this has been a part of our lives for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hinton.
What do you intend to do with the information you've gotten today? What's the next step? I just think we need communication, and what are you going to do with what you've heard from this meeting?
So all the public comments that have been submitted, and I've been, taking some notes of summary, and that will all be provided to our board and taken into consideration when they are deciding whether or not to approve the tax agreement.
Now, do you have another board meeting that we could have come to when you make that decision?
Yes, our board meeting is next Wednesday, and it's posted on our
I
website.
know, but we don't get the website.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, the communication has been lax, and I would love it if you could mail our residents information about meetings, because the communication has not been good enough for us. We haven't, I mean, I feel like we're on the back burner of whatever's happening in our neighborhood. Please help us find a way to get more information from you. How is that possible?
Hold up one second. Is there any other public speakers? Can I get back to you after we finish the public speakers, please? Thank you. Come on up. Hi.
I believe I spoke with you yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I'm Carmen Allen.
Okay.
I do not live in this town. I live in the neighboring town of Walcott. I'm here on behalf of my sister. My chickens also live here, so I'm here quite a lot. And I'd like to apologize to everybody in this room because nobody else is going to. You want them to accept this and give them a tax break, and they know exactly what they've done to this town. They've already given them enough of a break. They've taken the value of their homes with the AI. Now you want them to let them have a tax break on solar. How do we get a hold of the environmental impact study? Because surely one was done.
I can try to get back to, I don't,
Okay. Because
file one through 94C.
this is also a migration corridor. So there's endangered species of fireflies. It takes 3 years for them to cultivate. They're destroying everything, including the value of their properties and your health. Your health will be next. They've done nothing for the community.
Yes.
is there any other public speakers? Come on up, sir.
My name's Al Israel. I live at 7830 Lake Road. I was wondering if I could petition Niagara County for a tax break. I farm. I grow apples. Do you have kids, grandkids? Yeah,
Yes.
everybody does. Great grandkids? I grow fruit for a living. We can give a tax break to people who are generating power. How long can you survive without food? Let me give you the answer, roughly 40 days. Maybe you could also help me out with a little land clearing expense. That way I can plant more trees to feed your kids and grandkids. Just a thought. I'm being a little facetious here. I hope you understand that. But I'd really like to see full tax breaks, not full tax on this project. The property owners around this project don't deserve the devaluation of their property. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, one more comment. Instead of artificial intelligence, why don't we try a little almighty intelligence?
Amen.
Any other public speakers?
I can again. I just want to make a comment. They consider this green energy. All right. Last year, they didn't plant a lot of wherever the power plant's properties. Okay, it's past season. They didn't plant. So therefore, the crops didn't eat any CO2. They produced oxygen. Okay, so now they want to take trees and forests down, and they want to stop growing on that property. It's going to take away from eating up our CO2, and that's going to cause global warming. If they're so concerned about global warming, then they should leave the farmland alone and let the farmers farm. Either that or you sell it back to the farmers. This solar plant has no right to be in this community, none. Unless they want to keep it north of 18.
I agree. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have the time and date and place of that meeting?
Yes. Are there any other public comments? Come on up. It's next Wednesday, sir. It's you have my business card. The address is on there.
Can you just say it out? so
I
we
just
know right
I
now?
did. It's next Wednesday at 9 a.m. and here's my business card. It has
Where?
it has my address on here. 6311 Indicon Corporate Drive. 6311 Indicon Corporate Drive in Sanborn.
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Jenny Myers, and I live at 1946 Heartland Road. I just wanted to say from everything that I've heard tonight, that I don't think the revenue that's going to be brought in is worth them getting the tax reductions that they are asking for. The school, it benefits my children, and from what he said, that it would actually not get as much in funds, and it would actually affect us tax holders in the school. So I'm against it for those reasons. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Any other public speakers? Come on up, sir. This isn't like I'd be glad to speak to you after the public hearing. Is there, any other public speakers?
If we have a town attorney
Mhm.
who's looking after that, and like Mr. Hoffman stated, you have green space that was signed legally years ago, and it's not being acknowledged, why don't, and being that we're the majority of the people, being the residents, why isn't there a significant consideration for that? And why don't we get our town attorneys looking after that?
Because they're in the pocket of the developer.
That's my question.
Is there any other public comments? Okay. All right, hearing none now, I will adjourn this meeting. It is now 3:16 p.m. The hearing is now closed.
How many are on the board?